As some of you may already know, another Crunchyroll L, but that's pretty common. They got hacked, and there's been a lot of different updates. Espiritu got a little bit of update talking about the hack has been investigated. The Crunchyroll hack drama update. Give it to me.
So I made a video and I ended up deleting it because I just got shown this and this just got posted. And this is what I mean. I'm so goddamn frustrated because I get that people were asking for clarification to make sure that it was all confirmed and blah, blah, blah. I get that. But I did see a lot of people screaming like, oh, we're so bad for spreading misinformation. And as I said in the last video, Crunchyroll is not going to outright admit. And I get one other commenter did point out that
that's the tricky thing when you're trying to do like journalism or investigation content, right? Where you are now having to do due diligence and be, I guess, responsible for like the information being shared, whether or not that be legit or false, and just have to be really careful about that.
Legally, in some states, they are required.
That's why it's easier to be just a lazy reaction channel like me, where I say, hey, I don't know, man. I'm just reacting to the video.
To notify if a breach happens. And I said in my last video that I've deleted that Crunchyroll will find a workaround in the terminology of how to admit to being hacked, but say that they haven't at the same time.
So they were most likely hacked. I mean, this is the assumption. But they don't want to say that they got hacked because that, again, tarnishes their brand and reputation. So they're going to use nomenclature, verbiage, words to make it sound like nothing bad happened, but still the information got leaked.
There's been a compromise, but not a compromise. And so, yeah, Crunchyroll has seriously told Anime News Network, and I like the way this has kind of been paraphrased, we have secured the affected accounts, investigated the situation to determine that there is no evidence that Crunchyroll systems have been compromised.
No evidence. Okay. So you're telling me, okay. The thought process here is you investigated, sure. And there's no evidence that it's been compromised. Okay, but it's still, the information still got leaked though, right? Like, you can say whatever you want. In fact, you could even interpret this to assume that like, you guys are so bad at your own investigation that you can't even find the evidence. So again, the way that they release these statements is protecting them to make them sound good, but at the same time, it honestly could be interpreted as you're so fucking bad at looking for the evidence, you can't even find it, or they're just framing it in a way that makes them look good.
And again, they'll say, oh, but so see, there hasn't been a hack. We have secured the effective accounts.
Okay. It's been affected. So like, what you're already saying that they've been affected, you know? Like that first phrase already, it's been affected. What does affected accounts mean? That they were hacked, right? The information got leaked. So you're already admitting fault there, but there's no evidence that Crunchyroll system has been compromised. So how did they get affected then? That's a very good question, huh? How did they get affected then?
But if this isn't real, then there shouldn't be any secured affected accounts.
Exactly.
See, that's a contradiction in their own statement. But this is the thing. Legally, they play word gymnastics, so they make it seem really convoluted and complicated. It's a situation of the glass half empty and the glass half full, where if they say it in a certain way, if it gets taken to court, they can argue whichever way works in their favor. That's why they word it that way. That's lawyer.
Just semantics, right? Yeah, we're just working around using different words. The outcome is the same, but you can say whatever you want to make it sound good.
Yes, speak. So I'll read the full thing. We are aware that login credentials for 7 streaming platforms, including Crunchyroll, were posted on social media and have resolved the issue. Okay, so they're admitting that there has been a leak or some type of credential information hacked, leaked, whatever. We have secured the effective accounts, investigated the situation, and determined that there is no evidence that Crunchyroll systems have been compromised. Well, then how did they get it?
You tell me.
How did they get those if it hasn't been compromised? Crunchyroll's role encourages subscribers to diversify and change passwords regularly to keep them confidential.
What's Crunchyroll like blame them, bro? Y'all should have been changing your passwords more often so that you didn't get hacked.
How about you add a two-factor authentication to start with? Two-factor authentication is what a lot of sites do these days.
Yeah.
This should be bread and butter now.
I wonder why I don't do that.
And so this
why wouldn't they do that?
Me, is that Crunchyroll yet again is trying to skirt responsibility for things. And this is exactly what I tried to warn people about. This is exactly what I tried to warn people about. And
the same thing kind of happened during the mail fraud drama, remember? With the voice actor that said that like my stuff, you know, got tampered with and I didn't even receive any of the fan letters and gifts and stuff like that until recently. Crunchyroll's statement about that is that we did our own investigation and we found no fault on our side, and that if you want to really, you know, if you want to make sure that your gifts are sent to that person, you should send them to directly. Like, they have a very good, you know, they have a good team to, you know, come out with ways and phrase they have a way of phrasing things to kind of like remove any of the fault, any of the negativity from them, and basically just blame other people. They do a good job at blaming fingers, right? Pointing fingers. But at the same time, again, the outcome doesn't change. No matter what you say, the outcome is still the same. The accounts did get affected. So again, it's just word vomit.
Again, I'm trying to keep myself calm. Because yes, I have gotten a little bit angsty in my comment section as of late. Good.
Go to war.
Because I know how these companies play their games. And they do this all the time. They play word gymnastics. They twist things. They frame things in a certain way. And I get frustrated because I've seen the history. I remember when over here in Australia and New Zealand, we had a different streaming platform, and it was purchased by Funimation, and then Funimation was purchased by Crunchyroll. And so our services over here have gotten worse because of all these acquisitions, and then seeing all these sort of moving stuff over and us losing the ability to watch certain things because of all these issues. And like I said, the scare with physical copies being removed.
Well, that was recent too, right? With Sony?
As a person that is worried about things like that. It just, like I said, it just irritates me because I've seen their track record, I've seen what they do, and then seeing people desperately trying to defend them and go, oh, well, there's no proof of it, blah, blah, blah. And
who's defending Crunchyroll? That's the other crazy thing. If you're in the comment section glazing and defending a corporation, that's done nothing but do things that's anti-consumer friendly. Like, what are you doing? Are you actually licking Crunchyroll's boot right now?
The account ended up getting suspended. Some people are saying it's still around. Apparently there are 2 accounts. I only saw 1 account, but apparently there were 2 accounts. So, like I said, it's just frustrating because Crunchyroll, time and time and time again, has been doing this. I need to take a breather from all this. This is why I like my analysis content, because it's much more chill. I get frustrated when I cover this kind of stuff because it irritates me when I see a company do.
I'd say that like people would probably find this content even more fun if you start mauling and start screaming and, you know, complaining, bro. Let the passion leak out.
These shady practices, and then I see people throw themselves on molten lava defending. And I'm not talking about anyone super specific. It's just I saw a couple of people getting really angry at me that were like claiming that it was an L take and stuff like that, and they were like, oh, but Crunchyroll does care about their customers.
No, so they don't.
Anyone that I've
Crunchyroll cares about the money that they're able to milk from the customers. If they cared about the customers, they wouldn't go out and do stuff like remove the comment section to remove any sense of, you know, community bonding. They wouldn't go out and give shitty subs and, you know, I let these fucking woke localizers change the fucking meaning and the interpretation of what the anime is supposed to be from the source material. They wouldn't go out and remove series, you know, from their catalog too. So many different things that Crunchyroll has done that's proven time after time that they are out of touch with their consumer base. They've gotten away with it because they're the biggest platform that distributes anime legally, even though they start as a pirate site. They're too big to fail is the assumption they had, and now they're under fire, and I don't think they give a fuck about their customers. They care about the customers' money though.
Replied to recently. Don't worry, it's not about you. It's just, yeah. I always see the comments of people being like, oh, but Crunchyroll did nothing wrong. So, wow, that's a hell of a sentence to say. And that's what I mean, because I saw that one comment saying that legally they're required to say something. This is how they get around it. There is always a loophole around these things. You might think legally they have to do things, but trust me, they will find a way around it. That's the update.
Okay.
Again, like I said, it's always important, even if there's a 1% chance that it's just a fault, like even if it's like a 1% chance that it's real, always change your passwords. So I would still change it, even if they claim this.
I would just straight up not use Crunchyroll, bro. If you're still using Crunchyroll in 2025, what are you doing, man?
If you haven't changed it yet, change it. If you have already, good, well done. But like I said, don't trust their word on it. Always be safe yourself. Be proactive. Don't wait for Crunchyroll to say something. Be proactive. Because it's the one time that you sit there and think, oh, I'll just wait for Crunchyroll. That's when something goes wrong. It's always...
That's true, right? Like if Crunchyroll is trying to remove any of the guilt and they're trying to frame it like nothing is actually bad happening, but they are actually compromised, it's probably in your best interest to actually, you know, be proactive and change your your passwords, right? That doesn't hurt you to do that.
It's important to take security into your own hands, not let others deal with it, because that is when things go wrong, and then you have no leg to stand on, because they'll say, oh, well, you could have done something. And as they state here, they encourage people to change their passwords, and that's how they get around it. Oh, but maybe you should have changed your password more frequently. That's how they get around. Because what they could say is they could say it's old data leaks as well, and that's how they get around it. You got to prove them wrong otherwise, and then a full-on investigation is just pointless, and they might be fined a small amount of money. So yeah, it's how companies work. I'll keep you updated, keep you posted. I might be doing a big update video on the channel. I've kind of been ironing out what I want to do with the channel, and these videos have been a test. I've been saying that for a couple of videos now.
He's been pumping out content, you know. Basically, you just kind of become like a channel like Chibi, where it's just, you know, doing news and updates about just anime and anime industry related stuff.
I've been testing some things. I've got some analytics to show off. I know Kiao will have an absolute field day when it comes to seeing the analytics. So definitely going to be some juicy stuff. I wanted to test stuff. I wanted to see what was going on with the shadow banning. And I'll definitely have an update video for you in the future. So again, if you like this video, hit the like, subscribe, and
good to see, you know, him trying to branch out content and do something else. I've seen him just like, he's been pumping out content recently, huh? Like, look at that. He has been fucking pumping content. Tectone Trauma? What the fuck? But hey, I respect the grind, and pretty much Crunchyroll, just L company as usual. Like, just stop using it if you can. If they're compromised and they won't tell you that they're compromised, it doesn't really do you any good to just fucking close your eyes and shut your ears and say, haha, they got it covered. Like, go out and be proactive. Change your shit if you need to. Or just better, stop using the site. Here's a link to Mr. Espiritu's channel. Go give him a like if you want to support him. See you next time.